Warning. The following presentation may contain excessive alcohol consumption, obscene language, controversial opinions, heavy metal, and actual wrestling chat. As such, it has been rated M for metal.
Welcome to the Mosh Pit. Welcome along to this, the very first episode of Mickey's Mosh Pit. I'm your host, the heavy metal hooligan, Mickey Vago. Now I'll say host in the loosest sense of the term, because as you'll see from the shit show that follows this, there is very little hosting actually going on. As I record this has been almost a full year since we've been in lockdown because of this COVID. So it's almost a full year since we've had any wrestling. Almost a full year since I've seen or caught up with any of the boys, the wrestling guys. So I thought, what better way to do it than we'll do a couple of Zoom calls, we'll crack a few beers, we'll hit record, and then we'll just catch up. We'll chat wrestling, we'll chat music, we'll chat life, we'll just chat whatever nonsense comes up. And if I've taken the boys' minds off things for a couple of hours, then job done. And then we'll put it out there. And if other people get a kick out of watching us talking shite, for lack of a better term, then even better. So when I started doing this, I've got 3 or 4 in the bag now, ready to go. I kind of had two goals I was trying to get out of it. I was going to try and keep the bad language to a minimum, and I was going to try and keep them quite short, maybe 30 minutes, 45 minutes, something like, give or take. After doing a handful of these, those 2 goals have quickly gone out the window. The language in these can get quite bad, and it's quite frequent at times. And they are quite a bit longer than 30 minutes, 45 minutes, because after not seeing these guys for over a year, we've got quite a bit to chat about. And with this lockdown, this pandemic showing no signs of being over anytime soon, I'm going to keep doing these until the boys get fed up of speaking to me and having a drink with me. So without further ado, we'll just get straight into the first one. So the first guest, this pilot episode, as you will, of Mickey's Mosh Pit, with the very special guest of Scotty Swift. Enjoy. So here we are. You're joining us in the very first episode of what I'm giving the working title of Mickey's Mosh Pit.
Okay.
We're going to get some wrestling pals in. We'll talk wrestling, we'll talk music, we'll just talk whatever nonsense comes up. This could be a complete shit show. You might never see this. This might never go live. So we'll see. But the very first guest we've got on is a man who can talk. He's done it all as far as wrestling is concerned. He's been an undisputed champion. He's been a wrestling tag team champion. He's been a Regal Rumble winner and Aberdeen Anarchy main eventer. I mean, he's been pivotal in the success that WrestleZone's had. Our very own wrestling police is Scotty Swift.
Hello. I'm only first because no one else was available tonight.
Right.
You know, they keep message everyone in Scottish wrestling. It's like nobody's getting back to me, but
Yeah.
Scotty did, so it's fine. The wrestling police, that's the one I'm most proud of.
Right. We need to get the important stuff out the road. So am I supposed to address you as an officer, a constable, a detective?
You can either
How high up in the ranks in the wrestling police are you?
They call me Tango or Cash.
Turner or Hooch.
No, but 15 people understand that.
Aye.
Well, 2020 was a trying time for a lot of us.
Yeah.
It looks like 2021 is also going to be a trying time for a lot of us. Where do you even start with that? I mean, like you said, this might never see the light of day. I haven't seen you since March, the first ever Academy show
Yeah.
that we did.
That'll
So
be right.
I haven't seen you in almost a year. So really, this is just an excuse, and it's good though. I'm glad you're doing it. It's an excuse for you to catch up with the boys, have a drink, and if anyone wants to have a look at it, then they can. And
Aye.
and if anyone does, it's fine because we caught up. I am just
Yeah.
drinking water though, so it's fine. Cheers.
Yeah,
Happy New Year.
this could go very quickly downhill.
Good. Well, I said to you off camera, I don't need to take a dog out for a walk now. I've done my walk, so my night is free. My schedule's been cleared. I am working tomorrow, but it's not going to be busy.
It'll be fine.
We'll be fine. We'll be fine.
Nobody's allowed in. It's all right.
No one can do anything, Vigo. No one's allowed to do anything
Yeah.
anymore. No, we're speaking about wrestling, but the big thing, and I know you'll agree, and this will be, I said to Billy when I did the podcast with SWN,
Yeah.
I'm a tangent guy. I'll be all over the place. I know you'll be the same. But the thing, and I know you'll agree with this, the thing I'm missing is going to gigs.
Yeah. Aye. That's
Getting a
although,
gig.
since I've had the kids, I've not been at that many, but it's just taking the choice of going.
That's the thing. When it's taken away from you, it's
I
a
mean,
kick in the teeth.
There was rumours a multi-crew reforming
Yeah.
and ripping up this contract that they'd signed years ago that we're never got to tour again. They were going to
Well,
rip this up and they're going to start touring again. This was last year, and it's like, the whole place is locked in. That's knocked in the head.
No, the Terry Funk of glam metal. That's us done. We're back again. That's us done. We're back again.
Aye.
But yeah, I mean, in terms of wrestling, I mean, there's plenty has happened in wrestling within wrestling last year, but none of it's really been involved in the shows.
Aye, yeah. There's been a lot on the Twitter. Let's say.
It's made. I mean, speaking for myself, it's made my wrestling circle smaller.
Yeah, aye.
I mean, it makes me appreciate the likes of yourself more, because there's a number of people that people that I liked, people that I got along with.
Yeah.
And that was just, is wrestling that important to me and those around us to be all right with, I don't care how good a wrestler you are. I don't care, again, like who's a draw. I had this conversation with my boss today, and my boss doesn't know anything about wrestling apart from the fact he's came to support our shows and stuff. He cares to that degree. And he kind of knows a little bit about the speaking out thing. And he's like, there's no one, I mean, apart from maybe like a Grado, guys who are a draw. And thankfully, Grado's name never came up.
Aye, like guys that have broken out of wrestling itself.
Yeah.
The mainstream, let's say.
Yeah, exactly. And who's a draw to justify sharing a locker room with someone that you can't be arsed with?
Yeah, well, so.
And even for me, that's not a good enough reason, because principles. And again, maybe when I was 20 years old, I'd be able to, I would accept things more. It's like I've just turned 40, and I can't be done with it. I'm not putting up with it just because someone's good or someone's a draw. And really, on our level, there's very few draws. And people can argue that with me if they want to, but that's how I feel. I mean, apart from the likes of like a Grado, maybe like a Jester, certain guys that will help you a bit. Can you really justify it if someone isn't putting more butts in the seats?
Well, that's it. It's at the end of the day, it's making money. I mean, you just need to look at wrestlers itself. The guys they bring in are guys who are going to draw money, like guys like you said, Grado, Jester, and whatever.
Yeah. Or also as well, like another barometer for taking guys in, Vigo, is people, they're just first bad word of the night, they're just good cunts.
Well,
because I mean, to me, I'll take 10 guys who are, again, decent enough in the ring, but are just great to be around, over a handful of guys who are fantastic, but you just have a look at them, because that bell to bell only makes up that 10, 15, 20 minutes.
Yeah.
But what about all the other hours that you need to? And again, why should we get any stigma on us when we're not responsible for none of it?
Well, I've said this before. I spoke to, I can't remember who it was I was speaking to, but it was like the WrestleZone roster itself could they could go and play their trade anywhere around the Indies in Scotland or the UK or wherever, and they're just as good as anybody else that's out there. It's just because we're up north, it would largely get ignored unless we're out there with our boots.
It's geography. A lot of it is geography, yeah.
And like our roster of guys are, as you said, good cunts. I mean, there's no
the second bad language.
Yeah, this podcast is quickly getting R-rated.
Cheers, mate.
But yeah, like I said, it's like there's no a bad, like we're a close-knit group of guys up there.
Yeah. And that's super important. And you're right. I mean, it's the whole perception thing. And, the gag about me being into football, I don't know anything about it. But I know enough about football to know that, that Aberdeen, Glasgow divide is real.
Yeah, aye.
And it's similar in wrestling. And again, I say this, like, this isn't like an anti-Glasgow sentiment thing. This is, I'm just stating a fact. There is that definite thing that if it happens in Aberdeen or the Northeast, it can't be as important. Whether it's as good as or whatever, again, what's good is a matter of opinion. Yeah. Like, I can think something's great and someone can think something's garbage, and that's fine. Have a reason for that.
Yeah, it's subjective.
But, of course it is. But there is that perception, and it's never going away. And that's perpetrated in the newspapers, and it's always going to be permeating through the air. It's the same thing with wrestling, the same thing with sport. Again, selling at the ballroom years and years in a row, having legitimate 4 figures, and it doesn't matter. Obviously, it matters to us. Obviously, it matters to you because you work the imports.
Yeah, imports on the
Import Vago. Had to get it at some point. Yeah, because it happens in Aberdeen, then it doesn't count, and that wears on you after all. I mean, that's not the reason why I'm doing it. That's not the reason why any of us are doing it. But at the same time, it's got to be, well, come on. I mean, how much Scottish companies are legitimately pulling in 4 figures? There's one. There really is one.
Yeah.
If we're going to go by real numbers, if we're going to start throwing bombs, real numbers, there's us and there's ICW.
Yeah.
Didn't really want to mention ICW, but lots of people are okay with them now because they're on the network, so that's fine.
Yeah, aye.
But that's none of my business.
There seems to be a lot of a turnaround in that.
Well, it's very easy to take a stand against something during a lockdown when there's no repercussions at that time because wrestling completely stopped in Scotland. And then it was always waiting for, well, let's see when they get back to it again. Will those people stand by their words, their own convictions?
Yeah.
Will they stand by their principles? And they didn't. And I like to say that I'm surprised by it.
Yeah,
I'm not surprised by it.
You could have seen it a mile away. It was going to happen.
Of course it is. And again, I think it's an age thing. I mean, again, the difference between, like, I'm 40, like, name was taking a look at me now. I'm 40 years old. I've had a good run. On my 40th birthday, I lost a tooth. That was good. I've had like this ingrown tooth here that never came down. It's always been there. It's fine. It isn't hard. It's been there. And the tooth underneath it was always a bit iffy. It's been like that for 20 years, right? And then a week or two before my birthday, it just started. This is the way to come out, and it's like, okay, well, it's going to happen at some point. Then woke up on my 40th birthday, woke up to a tooth in my mouth, and it was like, happy birthday, Scott. The start of the decline is now.
Fitz is going right for a tooth these days. because my oldest one, she's had this wobbly tooth since about October, and it just refuses to come out. And it's like, I'll speak to the wife about that. It's like, well, like, obviously when we were kids it was 50 pence. I was like, is it all 50 pence or inflation?
It's got to be inflation now. I mean, I'm looking for at least £2 out of this one. But yeah, again, people will eat shit gladly when they're at a certain stage of their life because they feel the need to do it to get ahead. some people are doing it are the ones who didn't say anything during lockdown because they knew.
Aye,
And I can appreciate that.
give them they
It's
were
the
due. They were
people that
smart
were.
about it.
Yeah, but it's the ones who did it for likes, to be seen. People love, they fucking love being at White Night. It's like, get fucked.
Aye.
Get fucked. Smell it a million miles away now. It's like, I'm old, but I'm not stupid.
The White Knights
And-
and the Grief Thieves. That's
Oh, yeah. Oh, what's Marty Cluess came up with a cracker for it, the grief tourism. That's beautiful. But but it's true. And they did it for clout.
yeah.
And no, a lot of people were reacting to a lot of the, again, like legitimately horrible stuff. And I'm like, I'm not making light of speaking out.
No.
I'm talking about the people that basically took the fucking piss, and
Aye.
they did take the fucking piss. And you know, it just didn't seem appropriate to me that you're going to jump on this bandwagon to try and benefit yourself, but then we'll wait till it all cools down, because that's what people are waiting for it to blow over. You've got some of your English promotions already with posters with guys that were outed
Aye.
on the poster, and it's like, so are we just forgetting about it? And it's like, maybe that's cool. It's not important to you. It isn't important to me. Life is too short to put up with shit. I don't think wrestling's important enough, but maybe again, different. Like, my goals are a lot different than someone who's half my age, and I do appreciate that. But it's the people that were super gung ho about, this is terrible, we need to take a stand, but you'll take a booking for them. Get fucked. Seriously, get fucked. But and I know you feel the same way. I'm not putting words in your mouth, but I know you fucking do.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, I started quite late. Like, I was 30 when I started this. I'm 36 now.
Yeah.
37 this year. So, like, I've no thoughts of going anywhere else. Like, WrestleZone, that's where I'm going to play my trade. If someone comes asking and they're a reputable company and there's no arseholes in it, for lack of a better term,
Well,
then
that's going to be difficult now as well.
It'd be something I'd seriously consider. But like, from now on, that's just, if that's me, WrestleZone till the knees give up, till the back gives up, till whatever, then I'm happy with that. I'm delighted. Like, if I'd started 10 years older, 10 years before that, 26 or whatever, I'd might have an outlook on this. But it's like, I've no time for that at this stage.
I mean, I don't, again, and you're right. Yeah, I don't want to make blanket statements without taking that into account. You know, people's situations are different, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, I started when I was 27, 28, so I was a little bit younger than you were. And I wish I started younger than I did. I mean, we got, you know, guys like Connor. Well, no, got like Connor Ingles, and we got Little Connor. And Little Connor's not 17 yet, and he was going to make his debut at the Rumble, and then a fucking lockdown happened. But and like, I know I'm gutted for him because he deserves it.
Yeah,
I'm looking forward to it. But at the same time, mate, you've got forever. You know.
Aye.
Now, the older you are, this lockdown, what we're going through, is like a year when you're a bit older can make a big difference, because that's, you know, that 1 year, you know, it really is a year lost. But yeah, I mean, I could spend all night, because the amount of times I've vented to people who are involved in wrestling, and people who like my girlfriend, poor Charmaine's gotten in front of it again, but she knows enough about people involved to know who's who, what's what, and she's disappointed by a lot of it too as well.
Aye.
But she's heard me go off. Just again, I'll be fine for weeks, and then I'll just get a beer bonnet, and that fucking, you know, and it was, you know, wrestling is, you know, it's meant to be, you know, like, too much people have worked themselves into shoots. There's too much people who think because they're quite good at the wrestling that they can behave like they're a rock star.
They're above it. Yeah, the rules then apply, basically.
I mean, like, unless you're like a Grado, it's like, have a fucking think.
But even still, you get to that level, just can behave yourself.
Oh, of course. Oh, definitely. I totally agree with you. And again, the thing about the people that, like, obviously people that you've personally had the chance to work with, and guys that we've brought in. I mean, I know Jim Duggan was a few years before you came in.
Yeah.
But Jim Duggan, who's like a legitimate superstar, was like the nicest person you could ever meet. Hold on a second. How would a guy who's actually someone be super cool to everyone, but this guy who's on our level is an arsehole?
Right.
No. And again, I know everyone's different, but it's like, don't you behave like you're something when a guy who fed his family for 30 plus years and is legitimately a Hall of Fame. It doesn't matter whether Duggan is a good worker or not. Again, all subjectively. Is over, and I don't give a shit. Duggan is over, and that's all that matters. He's over. He came out and that building was shaking.
As what I say, you just need the pop he got when he came out.
Oh, it was amazing. I mean, that building was rocking, and like me and William Sterling were sitting at monitor watching it, and then we'd feel Billy Gunn behind us. Like this, against to know he's there because he's fucking huge.
Aye, he's huge.
And he's marking out. He's like, hey, guy hasn't done anything. He's got them. I was like, I know, eh? It's like the three of us all just going like,
you don't need a million spots and killing yourself. Like, just get with a 2x4 and.
Imagine that Jim Duggan tried to do a technical match. If the place was shit in it, well, actually, maybe they wouldn't because it's Jim Duggan. But you know what I mean? Like, you'd actually get that technical matches and it go over. It's like, of course, it fucking did. But, like he's trading wrist locks and he comes through and a lucha arm drag over, do a little double duck spot, comes back with a top of whirl, he fills out, Duggan goes to the top rope, dives onto him. It's like, that was really good, but why are you doing that?
Yeah.
But yeah, again, tangent. I lose my train of thought when I go off and I'm drinking. But yeah, I mean, where do you start with this? And again, it's people trying to worm a way back in. Like, people think if they just kind of lay low for a bit,
keep the head down, delete the Twitter account for a few months, so I'll be back, sneak back in.
Oh yeah, fine. And again, raping and nonsense. It's like, really. It's like, I mean, it's like it is all bad, but anything involving essentially children, and again, it's more so like for yourself because you've got a family.
Yeah.
And child abuse or animal abuse, just.
Right. I mean, it's lucky enough that
a rage. Yeah,
the names that came out weren't the guys that had really crossed paths with.
Yeah.
So it's like, I wasn't anybody on the list that I was really.
Yeah.
Kind of had any sort of relationship with as such.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like, and then it's bad enough doing it, and then it's even worse the folk that let them back in.
Well, again,
I mean, wrestling's has started, but eventually it'll start up again, and these guys will start getting booked in somewhere. Like, somewhere will book them, and you're like, why the fuck are you doing that?
First of all, because it's a boys' club, though, right? We don't have a boys' club in Aberdeen because we're very isolated from it. Yeah. So a lot of the promotions, further ahead, they're all close enough that there's a boys' club, and that doesn't include all of them because that's nonsense. There's plenty of guys up that part of the world that I do like a lot, and I've got a lot of time.
Yeah, aye.
Like, it isn't, because again, like, people, we don't speak about the good stuff. We always speak about the bad news. So it feels like it's all bad news. No, there is a handful of people who are particularly bad, but it's definitely not all of them. And again, some of them I'm not friends with, but they aren't the problem. But it's a boys' club, and the boys' club's been around since the early days of BCW.
Yeah.
I mean, my timeline might be wrong, but like 2003, 2002, and that whole mentality has been ingrained in that part of the world since well before me and you were involved in it. Anyway.
Aye.
So it's always been that way, and that way of thinking has been in wrestling decades before that too. So it's monkey see, monkey do. They thought, well, this is how wrestlers act. It's like, yeah, but people acted certain ways when, they were looking to draw a house and they were looking to get, because when guys got paid in a house, they got a bit cutthroat. When people looking for guarantee contracts or looking for the pay-per-view payoffs, it's like, I'm not justifying it, but it's like the reason certain things were happening or behaving in a certain way was because it was super, super competitive. Even though it's a work, it is competitive.
Yeah.
And they just kind of, well, that's the way it is. It's like, yeah, but it's different levels. And then on the more darker side of that is with the boys club. Again, BCW, they're like with Colin Mikkey. Everyone knew.
Yeah.
None of them knew, right? Cool. And again, if you don't know who Colin Mikkey is, you can just Google and you'll find stuff. You'll find
It'll pop up.
Him, Jim Brown, James Wallace, different names, Jay Phoenix. Now, why'd you go through all these different names? Yeah, because
because you had to, basically.
You had to. And someone keeps changing their name, someone keeps changing their name, or someone has a new social media account every couple of weeks, well, why? Oh no, got hacked again. Oh, did you?
Found out is more, yeah.
Cool, mate. So that mentality, and again, this is just me, kind of like a semi-educated opinion. Is the boys club now? Like, we never had the boys club because big WrestleZone, the foundation of WrestleZone, it's a group of friends who wanted to do wrestling.
Yeah,
and that was it. And there's more to it, and anyone who cares to hear me say more, talk a bit more with Billy in the SWN podcast, or anyone that knows me knows. And there's more to it than that because we took it over, but it wasn't this cool. It just wasn't. It's just not. And again, I think it's a very Aberdonian thing to be grounded and humble, maybe to a fault. It's like someone that Caleb Valhalla said to me recently was, we were just speaking about Aberdeen being humble kind of thing. He said like Aberdonians don't put themselves over enough, but WrestleZone could probably afford to start doing it a little bit, and it's like fair, and that's probably a feeling on our part, but it's also at the same time it keeps you grounded. And then when the shit hit the fan last year, and we were like, what the fuck is this? Being grounded all those years was to our benefit because we never lost sight of, you know what I mean?
I think what helped is the WrestleZone found its level.
Yeah.
I was like, you guys, what was that, 2009? You guys brought it up?
2009, but we're doing shows 2008, but it was our 2009. Yeah.
So like you guys built it up for what it was up until we were kind of selling at the ballroom 3-4 years in a row or whatever it was.
Yeah.
I was like, and then that was the level. It's like that, right? That's fine. That's what we are. We don't need to be. But didn't go back downhill. But
no.
We didn't. And it seems to be that mentality that it's like you've just found where you need to be.
Yeah. Other thing is as well is not thinking that we were owed anything. Yeah. Or not living, again, like what you said there gets summed up by basically not living out with your means.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people have done that. And it's not wrong in being ambitious, but if being ambitious is going to ultimately shoot you in the foot, then there's no benefit to it. Yeah. And again, it's different. It's that mentality. It's the Aberdeen mentality. It's the same with the football club. So I've been told. Not that I really know, but I've been told by enough of the boys that know. Is it here, Scott? Here's football. Now let me explain football to you in wrestling terminology. And I'm going, oh right, that makes sense. Okay, and you're right. No, we found a level. I mean, the next thing. What's the next thing I'm going to do? End up in TV?
Yeah.
Is that realistic? No, like maybe some rinky-dink kind of, like Sky Channel up in the high 800s, which you can pay to be on.
Yeah.
But is it going to help us grow? Probably not. It's just going to be like a financial drain, And because of where we are in Aberdeen, and people overlook us, we've got that work, and that isn't like a sob story or sympathy. It's just the way it is. We do get overlooked, and it's okay. I've accepted that to some degree. But yeah, I mean, where else could we go? I mean, what's the next thing to do? What we bring in like a Hulk Hogan level name? But we can't afford an Austin level name. Rock.
But then
what's next? Yeah,
it's like all these massive guys are now under like these Legends contracts, so you can't bring them in anyway. Like with the Christmas Chaos with Mick Foley, at the time. Like he was done. I don't care if he was under one of those contracts at the time.
I think I want to say. I think he went back not long afterwards because he was really heavy when he came in for Raw, and then he dropped a fair bit of weight and ended up being the GM for a bit on Raw.
Yeah.
Mick Foley was one of those deal with him, not his agent kind of thing.
Yeah. Like I said, meeting him, he was a genuinely nice guy. Like
he was brilliant.
Us and Garrick and Mr. P, we were backstage, must have been like 20, 25 minutes he gave us and it was just nonsense we were chatting. There wasn't anything specific or anything. And it was just like the nicest, like, they're saying that, like, at the time I've been there, all the imports have been, bar one, Will James was a prick. Apart from him,
Looking Sharp said the same thing, but then they patched it up on Facebook apparently.
Like so the first time he came over and then we did the seminar with him, and he seemed all right there, and then we did the show, and he was just a complete knob backstage, and I thought, well, he's just been dropped for NXT, can he's maybe entitled to a chip on his shoulder. That's Like I was pissed off at the time, and then I thought back and I thought, well, that's maybe fair enough. I'd be thinking too much into this. And then they brought him back up for a seminar at the academy.
Yeah.
And he was, I want to say he was meant to be there at lunchtime, like 12 or 1 or whatever. And he was about 4 or 5 hours late because he'd worked ICW the night before and he'd been out in the pish. And he turned up and he just couldn't be fucked. And it's like, you're just a dick.
I totally forgotten about him showing up late.
And then that's what picked me. I was like, nah, see, the first time you were a prick.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they haven't seen him back, have you? So he hasn't been back again. So, and he's asked.
Has he?
Yeah. Although he speaks to Bill again, like Bill speaks.
I mean, I've spoken to other guys, and some guys were like, "Yeah, he's all right." It's like, well, I didn't see it that way, I'm afraid. And again, there's a couple of guys I spoke to are in the same boat.
I think, like, when you get someone and everyone has the same experience with them, if it's a good experience, then that says a lot about the guy. Like a Jim Duggan, a Jay Lethal, a Scotty Swift. X-Pac was hard work, but he was lovely, but he was hard work. But yeah, like when someone comes in, and if they could treat whoever they see as the booker or the guy paying them, whatever, if they can treat that person the same as the person helping out merch that night, that's the way it should be. If they can treat everyone, and it be because you say levels of importance, like everyone involved in the show is important. The person filming is important. Your referee is super important. Your ring announcer is super important. The people who are like, as people come in the door, like ticket money, whatever, super important. People working the merch. The person doing a raffle, people just working. People who work they're like just general security, and generally they don't need to do anything because people are behaved, but they're there. And if someone wants to kick off, they're going to help us out. People think just because someone isn't taking bumps, they aren't important. And that's a thing. And I haven't encountered a lot of it. But you do from time to time. People will look at someone and go, you don't take bumps, so you're not important. No, like we're all aren't we all wrestling fans? Don't we all do some? Aren't we all involved in a wrestling show? Are we involved on the same wrestling show tonight? Just because someone isn't taking bumps, that doesn't mean to say that they're any less than anyone else.
Yeah. At the end of the day, the show can't go on.
The guys will pay for it, but
But yeah, like I said, apart from that, like every other guy we've had in the time I've been there certainly has been top notch. Like Hurricane, we had him across, we had the match with him.
Yeah.
And then we went backstage to say, in the dressing room, say thank you, whatever. And he stood there for about half an hour speaking to me and Arch, giving us tips about tag team wrestling, and we should be doing this, looking like this. And we didn't ask him for it; he just gave us it.
That's great.
And it's like that's the kind of guys you want to be around. Like Rikishi was the same. Me and Mr. P caught him. He was sitting outside catching some fresh air, and we just went to say hello. And he was sat there for probably at the same time, 20 minutes, half an hour, just chatting to us about wrestling, and his nephews are doing this, his sons are doing this, and whatever, and this is the way you should be doing it. This is why we do it back there. I say it's just they're getting this information out for just because they're good guys. They want I don't know if they want to see everyone succeed, but it's like they feel they should be passing sort of knowledge on because
Yeah.
they're the kind of thing you pick up easily elsewhere.
But it doesn't cost them anything. And again, like they've already done it. No, they've made it. They're guys that have done things that we'll never do. Now, hopefully, some of the guys that we have do get to do all that stuff.
Yeah.
But you've got your goals, and again, no one should ever make anyone feel less than because their goals are less ambitious than someone else's. Like, you've got a family. Some people who don't have any responsibilities, me, I never thought I would ever do anything, ever. It's like when I started training the first time, I'm thinking, oh my God, because I was shitting myself. It's like, I've got 2 left feet. I was always picked last for stuff at school. I don't like sport. I don't like being competitive because it gives me the fucking fear. Trying to win legitimately stresses me out, and I can't cope with it. Like, I actually started getting warm and clammy thinking about it. I've got weird shit going on in my brain sometimes, but like wrestling was just like, okay, it's almost like a safe place. But even I thought, can I actually fucking do this? So I've overachieved, even doing something daft like Judge Rinder on the telly in front of like 1 million people. It's like, that's mental. I know it was daft. But it's like, that's kind of cool. It's a cool thing. I got to be ITV in the studios, I wander about and be in Italian. It's like every now and then I'll still get, you enjoyed Rinda? I know, thanks. I don't know if you wanted me to be like surprised that you knew. Stupid stuff like that. It's
like stuff you got into wrestling, never thought that would be the end. Well, not the end result, but like a side show like that.
I would ever have a match. Because to me, again, some people who may have heard me say this before, a handful of people, but that was for the guys in the telly did that, not me.
Yeah,
like that's mental that I would be even doing it and then doing it to some degree of success. Like whatever success is measured on by what we are. So I mean, I can't remember what my point was now, but yeah, I mean, like the guy, like you speak about Rikishi and Hurricane, those guys have worked live TV, they work wrestling, and people think, and a stupid thing, well, those guys work main eventers. Well, Rikishi was for a cup of coffee, whatever. Yeah. But those guys weren't main event guys. Yeah, but they were employed for like years. No, like Scotty Swift worked for Vince for like 11 years straight.
Yeah.
More than that, because he's doing like job matches beforehand and stuff. And it's like, well, hold on a second. Even someone like Hardcore Holly,
he was there for.
He came in 90, end in 93, start in 94. He was released 2007. So the biggest company in the world employed him for 13 years. You know why? Because he was good.
Yeah.
And he must have not been a problem, because if someone's a problem, you don't keep them for 13 years. No. And it turns out that Bob Holly is an absolute sweetheart. So and that was the biggest surprise of all the guys, because I hear stories, Bob Holly.
Despite what you'd heard beforehand, it's brilliant
guy. I mean, he's a bit nuts. He's a big survival freak.
Yeah, aye.
Like you say, no, in the world, because he's speaking about the world ending, not like it might happen, like it will happen. But I'll be in the woods, and I've got this, and I've got a bunker underneath the ground, and I've got enough food to last me for 3 years, and I've got weapons. So when all the computer systems shut down, I'll be okay, boys. They were sitting in the car going, okay, Bob, that's cool. Then we go to get him checked into the hotel. Then I've told you this. I check him at the hotel, and the systems are currently down. The last reception's trying to check him in, but she can't do it. So Bob was like, told you, it's like, it's happening, Bob. You were right. The whole world's going to end. But he's
quick,
like,
Bob, to the bunker.
Super fanatical, kind of like, I'm going to be in my army fatigues with guns, and they're going to the zombie apocalypse, but I'll be ready. It's like, you know what, Bob, you probably will be. But yeah, I mean, why wouldn't these guys take 10 minutes with you guys and pass it on? I mean, why not? I mean, it's not costing them anymore.
I mean, it's like the year Hornswoggle was there, and there was a ladder match. He wasn't even involved in the ladder match. He just happened to be in the ring at the time. and they were going through some spot they were going to be doing.
Yes.
And he's like, "Oh well, you should do this," and he wasn't even involved in the match. It's like, and he's given these guys.
Right. Yeah, he was, wasn't he? Yeah, that's right.
I
Remember what he said was good.
Yeah,
it was good stuff.
What he said, they used.
Yeah, and again, like like people will chuckle at hearing his name, but he worked for the biggest company in the world for years.
Yeah.
If you don't think that like, you can learn from him, then you're an idiot, because he's been where most people want to go.
Yeah, he knows.
People have that perception. Like if you weren't a main event guy, it's like someone who worked there for a cup of coffee will have something to pass on to the likes of us, because they've been to a place that most of us won't get to.
Yeah.
And again, like the world's gotten smaller now. So I mean, I know like Drew's like a once in a lifetime thing.
Yeah.
But it's not impossible. You know, I mean, like they're champions from air. It's mental.
It's just if you
Can be done.
If you
that helps. The Drew's really good, 6'4", and built like a shithouse. Yeah. That helps.
It doesn't hurt.
But he's also there because they must see something in him.
Yeah.
And like everyone, I mean, like,
and it's the fact that he was there before, and he was let go, and he went and did all this other stuff, and then he went back to be the champion.
Yeah. But it's like Jim Ross, to quote Jim Ross, you need to go away and learn a new hold.
Yeah,
you know, like sometimes you need to go away just to come back, because if you don't go away, how can they miss you? If you're always there, eventually they're going to resent you.
Yeah.
And he was too young. And again, his documentary on the network and his interview with Steve Austin are both fantastic. Yeah, but no, what was our point? Oh yeah, lockdown. We're talking about lockdown, and then it just went what?
Yeah.
Again, wrestling wise, I mean, again, like I said, our last show was the Academy show.
Yeah.
And you and Alan Sterling had that technical masterpiece, the riot. Honestly, I mean, no, we can't get a lot of people in that building, but the people that were there for that one.
It's the fact that he's knocking it out of me, and he's saying stuff, and I could hear Mikkey breaking behind me. I like Mikkey dinner because I'm on the verge. And that was tremendous. I always like Morgan Allen. He comes across as this buffoon, but he knows exactly what he's doing.
Of course he does. Oh, absolutely. I mean, I would sing his praises all day long. But again, we had the Academy show, and then I'm sure, I'll see you at the Rumble, and then the whole world shut down.
Yeah, literally the week before the Rumble, and it was like, oh well, that's us.
Yeah, and we're thinking, we'll get back about June, and then June came. We'll get back for back for the galas. Then August came. Get back. I mean, we're speaking about trying to get Halloween hijinks. Halloween came and went. I might get Christmas. We'll do a Christmas show, but what about ongoing stuff? Let's just have a nice, breezy, fun,
let's some matches to get back into it. Yeah.
Let's end the year with, pardon me, the heartburn's gone though. So with the Jack's help, let's end the year with matches. Let's not worry about being serious. Let's not worry about being consistent. We've been cooped up since March. There's been no shows in Aberdeen or the northeast of Scotland. People will be just happy to go out and see a show. Yeah. Boys will be happy to just get in the ring and do their thing.
Aye.
Let's just do it. That never happened, obviously, and now we're into January, and I can't see
this
June, July.
I can see most of this year being a complete write-off. I mean, like you said, like last year, there was guys hoping it was going to be June and October, and then Christmas, and it's like, and then even if we do, like you've put a Twitter post about this, like even if we are allowed to get back to wrestling, it's like the crowds might be there for months, years before it could be back to normal again.
Okay, I know people are keen to get back to it, but there's too much people putting up posters made with dates on them.
Yeah.
No, we're going to be back in April. Are you?
Oh yeah, and then
have you got a crystal ball that I don't know about? I'm not being a dick. I'm just being brutally honest. It's like, don't put that stuff up in a time of uncertainty like we've never ever had before. Don't put that up. Don't. And as Fair City Wrestling, as W3L, boys, dinner, because we don't know. We don't
You've
know.
no idea.
You've no idea. None of us does. The bloody government don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
Like
It's
no
like-
one, no one at the top knows. So we don't know. So
I mean,
let's not.
At the end of last year, we got some sort of training. It wasn't the contact training, but it was at least something where we're getting in the ring and getting some audio in and whatever. I say,
Yeah.
didn't I go scheduling shows until we've got at least full training, full contact training on the
course.
go?
Again, it's like even from a quality point of view, it's like we couldn't just go into a show and the show might suffer because I'd be rusty.
Yeah.
I'm heavy. I'm not as heavy as I was a few weeks ago, but I am, and the gyms are closed, and I'm doing what I can. But it's difficult to get motivated. I know some guys are just motivated, and they're someone like Caleb just goes because it's in his blood.
When we were shut down in March, I was like, I'm going to get in the best shape I've ever been in. I'm going to wrestle with a t-shirt, and it lasted about a fortnight, and it just went womp. Nah, back in the beers.
And it's not like an excuse, but some people are wired differently. Like, I mean, it's like I've had. I mean, like you don't blow up. Like you're good for it. I mean, like you're not like a big, huge massive.
I would like.
guy.
I've been lucky enough. I've always been an athletic kind of guy.
Yeah,
I played football for years, and
it's like you will now and then you'll come out with someone and it's like, holy shit, Vigo. And I like that more than a guy who does all their shit all the time.
Yeah.
Like you'll bust it like a Van Terminator or a moonsault just to remind people I can, but I'm not going to do it all the time. But when the time's right, when like a story's peaking, you'll pick your spots. Because I don't know that the Van Terminator at Battle Nations, you did a moonsault at Anarchy 2019.
Yep.
I did it 2018 as well.
I did a dive one year. That was my spot
dive,
one year. I did a dive.
It's a Van Terminator, it took me in a moonsault. And again, I know like wrestling's wacky as fuck now.
It's like the fact was, oh, he just did a dive. But it's like, but that guy has never done a dive. It's like, that's
different. Yeah.
Why it got the reaction it did. Like, it's
and also we're talking
reaction,
about it. We're talking about it. So every now and then you'll just remind people, yeah, I know like but I can if I need to.
Yeah.
What was my point again? Damn it.
We'll talk with training.
Yeah. Like so even if we came back to shows without contact training, the shows would suffer because they wouldn't be. I mean, some guys can. I think someone like a Zach Dynamite would just be like, "That's my back." Like Zach would come back and it'd be fine.
Like he was in our bubble for a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
Before he started taking training by training some of the newer guys, he was just shifted from the right, but he was there a couple of nights, and you could see, like we were just getting. Obviously, you're just getting back to it after 6 months off, so we're thinking it back in the slow. Just no bumps. We'll leave bumps for a couple of weeks. We'll just do some cardio. Actually, just loosen up a bit. And you could see he was eager just to get straight back into rolling and diving.
Definitely. I quite believe it, because he's like, it's like he needs someone to just be like, like, calm down.
Yeah.
That's only because he fucking cares. Like he cares so much.
Yeah. He's a passionate guy.
I do. I love him to bits. I honestly do. We just need to. Sometimes for his own good, you say, "You're fine. Let's just calm down a little bit." But it's only out of love. It's because he cares so much.
Yeah.
But yeah, like someone like I think he would come back in and be fine. Like for me, I'd just be like, I'd be blown at my arse. I would, And again, at its various points, me wrestling. I hate saying career because it just seems wanky. I don't believe in saying it. You know what I mean? I don't believe in saying that. Like someone says, and like someone says it to me, and I go, "Oh my god, I won't say anything." Like doing the wrestling, which is what it is. I'm doing the wrestling. There's been points where I've been heavy. There's points where I've looked for me like pretty good, and now it's I find it hard to get because like 2011 and 12 that came easy. I was just like I was eating clean. I was like it was the point where Martin Clunas, who takes a piss out of me at every opportunity, says, "You're looking really good," and I'm waiting for the punchline. And he's like, I'm looking at him like, right? Like, no, really, you look good. And then he walked away, and he's like, shit, I must look all right. Again, like I'm never gonna look like it look like Caleb, or look like a big, huge
Yeah,
guy.
right.
I'm just not meant to be that way unless I was to use stuff that I don't want to be looking at because I'm too scared.
Yeah,
I never
aye.
will. You know what I mean? But there's points where I've been all right, but just now I'm a bit like I'm a bit heavy. I could probably have a match tonight and give you a good 10 minutes. Well, I say good, like solid 10 minutes, but it might be a bit ropey.
Yeah.
But you're right. I mean, if we just again people putting up their dates and like the non-contact training hadn't been up to contact training, how are we putting a show on? And again, like that isn't the most important thing because it's a pandemic, but it is important in terms of the show will suffer because the quality won't be as good, and people aren't thinking about that.
And then you've got the other factor is you haven't done contact for what's probably the best part of a year now.
Yeah,
I was like, how safe is it going to be?
It's going to hurt.
Like you said, you're going to be rusty. There's going to be something that might not go quite right.
Correct.
And guys are going to get hurt. And
then you're going to get a show of guys just on eggshells.
Yeah.
No, apart from Zach Dynamite, he doesn't give a shit. He'd just be fucking rah.
Him and Archer just broken.
Sorry, no, like Zach Dynamite and Chris Archer, it'd be like we never stopped. It's like Jesus, boys. All right.
We had this running joke that Archer was meant to be in our training group to start with, and he got shifted to a different night for whatever reason.
That's right.
And we had this joke that nobody'd seen him since March, and he's got to come back, and he's just going to be buff, just big, massive. So I said to Garrett, you have to be the high-flying guy now. Archer's going to be the power guy.
Imagine if Archer came in
just like massive,
like peak Eddie Guerrero, like 2004 Guerrero, just like a latch spread. He has to walk sideways to get through the door with a latch spread. It's like, holy hell, Archer. But I'm not to be on my soapbox, but just again, people have their reasons for doing stuff. I think a big part, and I don't know if you'll agree with me, I think a big part of people doing stuff during lockdown that they shouldn't be doing is just because they have too much spare time. And their minds are wandering and they're thinking, and people are doing stuff, and it's like, I know we've got spare time, but don't do stuff that makes you look silly.
Yeah, well.
That's a part of it for me. It's like too much people. It's like people need to get like a hobby or an interest.
Yeah, wrestling's going to be all and end all. Go and be someone else.
No, I mean, but again, like it was for me when I was a kid. You know.
Yeah.
So it's almost I can't be 100% right because I was that way too. You know?
You can kind of understand, but then there's, like you said, there's the guys that are putting these posters up and whatever. They've been in it long enough that they should know better. That they should be.
Should they though?
Well,
no, like not all of them.
They should. Well, most of them.
Right. I mean,
should be responsible enough. And here, you think you should ken what you're doing. You've been doing it long enough. Come on, play the game.
Again, like you mentioned, what I put up on Twitter, and again, it's like just from like a financial point of view. I mean, if you're having to half your attendance because you need to distance it, then your crew. I mean, like we're quite lucky in terms of like if we didn't bring anyone else in, we've got depth. Like there was a point in time the wrestling had no fucking depth.
Okay, but now we've got a solid roster of guys that
we have a good roster.
Singles guys, tag team guys.
Again, you are
big guys, small guys.
Sterling, Crusher, Connor, me, Thunder, Sterling, Tucker. Go on and on, you know, and again, we could do a show, 5 singles in a tag or whatever, 6 singles or something on top, whatever, you know, the pre-show, the outfit are there as well. You know, we could do, if we had to, we could do shows with just WrestleZone boys forever.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously you want to be able to bring people in and freshen up, but let's say someone said, gun to my head, you can't use anyone else. Well, we'd be all right because we'll find a way to be creative. We'll make it work. Yeah, that's what we do. Because there's no problems. There's problem solving. And
but like I said before, the guys we've got are good enough to do it.
Correct. Of course,
There's no need to bring in anyone else. We can do it. It's just a case of, like you said, the
But
creative.
we do it because it's good for shows. It's good having things to freshen up, and it's also people. I mean, the likes of like a Bingo Balance, bring him in because we like him. Now, Bingo stays in Ireland.
Yeah.
It's not super convenient, but when we can bring him in for a bigger show and people get excited to see him because our regulars have got long memories, which I appreciate. And they remember him from 2010. And so I like that guy. There's stupid little things like just because he's Irish is cool.
Yeah.
You know, when someone's from Ireland and there's someone's American, it's almost someone's Welsh. I was like, ooh, it's almost more
exciting. It's something different. Yeah.
Definitely. And also because Bingo is legitimately one of the best guys I've ever fucking met. Helps. You know, and the fact that like he was brought in by the old WrestleZone in 2009 and he came in and was like, well, I like him. We should if we ever take this thing over. And also because I mean, like I'm not a flyer, Sterling's not a flyer. I mean, we've got guys now that can, like Connor Ingalls can do some amazing stuff, and obviously Archer, you know. But I mean, for not saying he's a cruiserweight, but he was that style.
Yeah.
He became important.
In the early days, he was the original high-flying guy.
Yeah,
that was there.
And he's offering, I mean, like you should be bringing people in for a good reason, and one good reason is the person that you're bringing in offers something that you don't usually have.
Yeah,
and that's what Bingo brings. And on top of that, like I said, he's just a good person.
Yeah,
and you want to give him work because you want to help him out. But what's the point again? I've done that again. I totally lost what I was.
Locked in again. We're still in lockdown.
Still in lockdown. Yes, we are still in lockdown. Yes, we had. Yeah, no, we definitely are. Oh, someone's came up in my computer. Don't send. Okay, I won't. That's fine. Do not send. Oh my God, I don't know what's happening there. Apologies. Right, okay, I'm back. Annie's back. Somebody came up and I started flapping. It's like I don't know what that means. Shit.
This is what happens when you get two old cunts on a podcast naked and what the fuck either of them doing.
Mental. We literally
recipe for nonsense.
We need like a moderator to be like, guys, just fucking someone to rein it in a little bit. Again, because of the way things are, if we can get like maybe gala season, because the shows will be outside, it's easier to manage an outside.
That is the one thing I missed this year, was like last year even now. It was the gala season.
Haddo House. The greatest finish of all time.
That remains my finest gala moment.
For those that don't know, Mickey Vago against Caleb Valhalla, our first year at Haddo House, 2018.
Second year.
The second year.
Yeah, the first year was Archer big league in it. Dressing room.
Chris Archer. Everyone's getting changed, and Chris Archer's disappeared. So I don't know if you went wondering.
I wasn't there. I wasn't there. I got sent the photo of Archer just sitting in the dressing room by himself.
I went because I went looking for like a toilet, and I found the toilet in the room. The room that he was getting changed. He's got his bag down. He's got his suitcase open with like 150 bandanas. He's got all his stuff hung up. He's got like like Archer's like RoboCop with like tape and knee pads. He looks like Bionic Man with his legs.
We have the money. We can.
It's like the bit in the Family Guy. We have the money, but we don't want to spend too much. He's just him with like buckets in his legs. Right, so he's got all his stuff hung up, bandanas strewn everywhere, and he's in this room that's bigger than room that we've got, like all the boys. It's like, Archer, why are you getting changed in here? It's like just more room. It's like you do realize this is quite fucking arrogant. It's a bit arrogant, and he stayed there the whole day. He never came through.
Just
I think
big league Archer.
I think eventually a few people were like, "It's true, there's room in there." So a few boys went through. But yeah, Haddo House. So you and Caleb outside the ring, brawling, standard, bang, 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 referees counting. Bang, bang, bang. So eventually, Caleb gets the better of you, goes to the big charge, you pass him, he goes to the fire exit door, you lock the fire exit door behind you, roll back the ring, 9, 10, he's banging. So he's here's this this Viking Norse god looking motherfucker banging on that fire door, and outside is just like people enjoying the gala.
Yeah, just passers by.
Families walking out, seeing this guy, Thor, is the fucking Montrose Thor, banging to get in, and he's trying to stay in character. He's also going, what must they think looking at this? If they just came for a nice day at the gala, and this half naked guy, like I'm sure the mums loved it, but
Yes, I'm sure they did.
It's one of my favorite gala moments, of which there's many. But yeah, I'm kind of hoping that if we get to June, July, August, we can maybe get a gala in.
Yeah.
Because we had a lot of stuff lined up for last year, and we had a couple of new places that were asking for us. So it would have been a riot. And galas are great because you just go and again, like, you don't. I mean, like,
love a gala.
Yeah, you don't. I mean, you still take it serious, but it's nice that it's a bit more loose and freeform. You know? I mean, it doesn't mean that you go out there and sit in a hole for 10 minutes and don't do anything.
I mean, you're
still working hard, but
the point is you've got a crowd there that aren't necessarily a wrestling crowd, so you can get away with a lot more.
I think you need to throw in a bit of Gaga. I mean, the joke is Gaga, and it always seems like, oh, good bit of Gaga, and it always seems like an easy out. But you have to, because like you said, I mean, like those people, I mean, some people came to the gala to see us.
Yeah.
Most people didn't. So you need to get, and again, you get people that don't care. That's cool. I mean, again, that's what a gala is for. You go to one thing, you don't like it, you go somewhere else. It's fine.
Yeah.
But I mean, you'll get a handful of people that hang around the whole day who maybe have either seen it on telly or didn't know there was wrestling in Aberdeen or anywhere locally, or don't know what wrestling is, which is mental. But you still get people who've never seen it, because we take it for granted that it was wrestling. But if you get a crowd big enough, there'll be one person who might not have seen it. It doesn't even know what it is.
The thing I think it is now is you've got Sky and Netflix. Well, Sky's got fucking 900 odd channels, whatever it is. You've got Netflix, you've got YouTube. It's like, you could easily miss it watching everything else that's on that things. Like when we were kids growing up, like you're a couple of years older than I am, but like back in the day we had like 4 channels, and that was it. And like
oh yeah. I mean, like 4 channels. I'm old enough that we had we didn't have a VHS, and we had a Betamax player.
Oh,
yeah. I think it was just we had Betamax for maybe a year. It was just when VHS was becoming more kind of common. So we were at the tail end of Betamax. But yeah, we had 4 channels. So if you wanted to watch a telly, then you watched what was on, because that's all you had. But you were happy because you didn't know any better. Now, it's mental. I'll go on Netflix and spend half an hour before I watch something.
Yeah, just looking for someone to watch.
And then I'll end up watching someone I watched before.
Yeah.
It's like, well, why did I do that? I just spent half an hour looking for something new. Apart from, I've watched the whole season of Cobra Kai, the 3rd season of Cobra Kai. Watched it all in a winter. Fuck me. Amazing. I never the world was not asking for a Karate Kid reboot, but they did it, and it's phenomenal.
I think Johnny Lyons was on about it when it first came out, like how many years ago that was about, and I never watched it. I basically went, cool. And then they came on to Netflix or whatever it was last year or year before, whatever it was, it came on. And I watched it all. I was like, this is fucking amazing.
It's weird because I had it built up for ages. So when we started watching it, and we got about halfway through the 1st season, and we neither of us really wanted to be the one to say it. But eventually, Charmaine says, "I'm not feeling this." And it's like, yeah, me neither. And I think it's because we had it built up for so long.
Yeah.
Because when it first came out, there was no expectations, but I'd heard for years it was good. So we kind of left it for a week, and then we went back to it because I'll finish it. And then we finished season 1, got to the end of it, and it was phenomenal. Okay, and then the 2nd season was brilliant, and then now I get it. But I think it's because, again, and that's a danger of word of mouth, is like we leave it for too long. You've heard it's amazing, and then eventually when you watch it, you've built up in your head so much. But that last season, that third season, is just like, wow.
See, I've got this, and this is going to piss a lot of people off.
Oh, hot take.
I'd never seen Lord of the Rings for years and years and years and years, and I just building it up. So eventually, because lockdown was on, I was like, not today. So I was like, fuck it, it's on Sky, whatever, I'll watch it. It wasn't that great.
See, I've got a similar thing, almost like
don't get me wrong, it was good, but it wasn't as amazing as everyone made it out to be. Like Star Wars is the same. I've got this thing about Star Wars.
It's not as
good as everyone wants it to be.
100%. There's an XXX ad years ago was on me to watch Lord of the Rings. So I went, right, we're staying at our mum's. The mum lived in Grangemouth, so we're staying over there one weekend. So right, okay, we're here, not happening. I'm going to watch them all in a runner. If I'm going to watch them all, no, obviously not realizing that it'd be like about 10 hours. Because oh my god, I fucking ribbed myself there. But no, I did enjoy them because they're well-made movies. That was 2004. I've never watched them again.
No.
So it's similar. It's like, do I really need to? And Star Wars, I know Star Wars is like super over.
Yeah.
And I totally respect it. But
like, I get it. They're decent enough movies, but none get it.
But it's because, again, I think you need to go back to his first one, 78, Star Wars, 78.
It's 70s anyway. I don't know exactly.
I think you need to put yourself back in that time and realize how groundbreaking and important. It's almost there's almost like for me, Star Wars is the Beatles in Nirvana.
Yeah, I can agree.
It's of its time, and I'm not a big Beatles guy or Nirvana guy.
No,
but I get it. I do get it, and because it's of its time, like glam metal was killed dead by again. And here's the music portion of the evening. Hold on. So what? No restart. No restart. No, don't restart anything. Stop it. My God. So I never use my laptop, so just telling me all this shit I need to do. Like, fuck off. Yeah.
You've got 1,000 viruses.
Oh, probably. The Vago virus pops up. It's just a fucking Lemmy Trojan. The glam metal gets killed by grunge, and then glam metal comes back because everything comes back again. But it's like that's what Star Wars. Star Wars is like, it's of its time, and I think if you grew up with it, again, it's like us with Ghostbusters.
Yeah, aye.
People watch Ghostbusters now and they say to me, because the humor is Saturday Night Live 80s humor. Now, I'm an 80s kid, and you're just about an 80s kid as well.
I was 84 the year Ghostbusters came out.
Exactly, yeah. So I was like, I never saw it when it came out.
No.
I was around it and aware of the second movie coming out because the adverts were on and the crossovers with like the Burger King and Wimpy and and I've got the Wimpy can sitting over there. I've got a little collection that I'm working on. I haven't got it yet, but when I get it, I'll send you pictures of it. You'll pop. Birthday, Christmas money. I spent big money on little things, but it's not my money, so I've justified it, and it's myself. I'm excited. It's stupid, but I'm so happy. The second movie came out, and that was when I was aware of it because I'd watched the first one at that point. The cartoon had the toys, so really, it's like Star Wars for them is our Ghostbusters, and people don't get why. No, why is that a thing? Is it but you didn't live through it, and we lived through it.
For saying that, I went to see was it episode 1 came out when I was, I don't know, 10 maybe.
Oh, is that 90?
Don't know what year that would have been, 97, 98 maybe. Was it before that even? So it would have been, I'd have been older than that, 13, 14 maybe, and I went to see it then. And even then I saw that, like, I think I'd seen the original ones before that one. And I saw that one, like, that's a shite.
Well, I think, but but isn't that one regarded by fans as not being good anyway?
Yeah,
Is that people don't? I mean,
so,
like,
yeah, it could well have been that one just put me off completely. But then, like I said, I watched the original ones like years later, and I was like,
but
they're good, but they're not decent.
But the people build it up. I mean, like saying like some of the prequels weren't good, but it's no different than the Jason Voorhees and Friday the 13th. Franchise, like some of them are shit.
Yeah, aye.
Again, but me, and I know Star Wars is held to higher regard than.
Yeah.
But it's like any franchise, like like Puppet Master, Hellraiser, Friday the 13th, Nightmare on Elm Street. If they go long enough, even like Critters, by Critters 4, it was fucking shite. But the first two are great. If a franchise goes long enough, there's going to be stinkers.
It's like Terminator, like 1 and 2.
Oh, you're talking to Terminator. This is a fucking podcast here. This is a fucking podcast.
Like, two of the best films ever made is Terminator 1 and 2, and then it slowly went downhill.
It's a myth that.
But then the newest one they brought out, when they brought Sarah Connor back again, and just wiped clean everything. I thought, that one's all right. It's not on the level of 1 and 2, but it was better than anything that come before it.
I need to go for a pee, but hold that thought, right? I'm coming back. But this jab's going right through me. But I agree with you. You're totally right. So Terminator, right? So the Terminator franchise is the same as Alien. It's the same franchise. The first two are phenomenal, and then it dies. It slowly goes.
Yeah.
And the problem is history has kind of built up Terminator and Alien franchise as like they're just like iconic things. No, they finished the stories nicely with the second one, and that was it.
Yeah.
But they kept going back to it, especially with Terminator. I mean, an Alien is like I got the Alien box set 1 to 4 for like a $5 when I was in Glasgow one time for a gig. I was looking about shops and shit. It's a $5, easy, especially for the first two. So obviously lockdown, there's nothing happening. So I watched more films last year than ever have, maybe in the entirety of my fucking life. I just went nuts. Films I've seen before, films I'd forgotten about, films that I was made like really shitty 80s horror films. Brilliant. Some of them were just atrocious, but I've always wanted to get them, so eventually take them off the list. So we spent a few nights watching Alien 1 to 4. First one, great. Second one, legitimately in my top 10. Just fucking Aliens is phenomenal. Alien 3, okay, I'm with you, but then Alien Resurrection is like Resident Evil. Fits happening.
It's like, my missus.
It's because I was made by Joss. I was Joss Whedon that did that one, and it's like shit. Joss Whedon that did fucking Buffy and Angel did Alien Resurrection, so that's why it's so goofy. Yeah. But it's fine. All the other shit is fine, but not in my Aliens film, motherfucker. No.
And my missus, she's daft for the Resident Evil films. Like, she loves them. And I was all right with the first two, and I think it was the third or the fourth thing, she got these mad powers where she was doing all these backflips and.
Oh yeah.
I was like, that's not Resident Evil.
But the thing is, at least Resident Evil is Resident Evil being Resident Evil. Like, at least you know what you're getting.
Yeah,
right?
And then like I said, they got that easy at the road.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Then she went back to being normal again, and it was just zombies again, and like kind of stuff at the games, and that was all right. But that 2 or 3 where she got these mad powers, and I was like, fucking behave, man. Leave that alone.
Yeah. I finally watched Terminator Genesis during lockdown.
Is that the Bale?
No, that's a Salvation. I haven't seen Salvation.
It's all right, but it's not.
Apparently, I've heard it's boring as fuck.
Yeah, it drags.
But the Terminator Genesis is the first time I almost turned a film off because it was so stupid. Not because it was bad, because it wasn't bad. It was just stupid. It's like, it's just fucking stupid. And halfway through, I'm selling it, and Sherman's like, "Are you all right?" It's like, I might turn this off because it's too fucking stupid. It's like, no, I'll stick with it. Again, it's Terminator, it's Ernie. You've got some goodwill with me. I mean, I think the third one's a decent action film, but it's not a good Terminator film.
No.
But then it gets to the point where it's like, well, what is a good Terminator film? Because like as a whole, it's just. But the first one, again, like me and Martin were talking about this. Martin including this, or ring announcer. For context, the first Terminator is a perfect chase movie, and the second one is a perfect sci-fi action movie. Like the first two,
I'd agree with that. Yeah.
Especially the second one is just. I mean, because I hadn't watched it in a while, so I picked up the Blu-ray because now I'm a Blu-ray snob finally. And,
We're getting it right. What's next?
It took me years. I'm gonna get like a region-free Blu-ray player so I can buy everything in the fucking world. It's gonna get scary,
just dangerous.
Everything, and so I'm watching Terminator 2 again, and just halfway through, I'm just like, this is still fucking incredible. It's like it's still incredible. And then after that, it just goes a bit silly.
But then I've always been a mad like Arnie films, like 80s, 90s action films, like your Arnies, your Van Dammes, your Stallones. I'm all over that.
It's fucking good shit. It's good shit. It's good shit. Because the 80s didn't give a fuck.
It's like it doesn't need to make that. Like just blow a lot of shit up, throw some taglines in there, like shit like that's it. I was a kid, I was all over that. Like it's like 15, 18 ratings, and I'm like fucking like 7, 8, 9 watching that shit. It's like yes.
Oh, I mean that's a generation where kids were watching stuff that they shouldn't be watching.
Yeah. And
we turned it okay, I think.
It's like up to Derek's home videos and Great Northern Road. Boof, there you go. Commando. A bit of Rambo, that'll do. Boof. Mum's like that. Fucking there you go. Boof. 2 nights. It's like now I wouldn't dream of showing my kids half the stuff I watched when I was a kid.
Oh no. Again, no. There's films. I mean, like Charmaine's son Adam. He's 13 now, but he's a bit like there's certain things like he's very clear about what he's uncomfortable with. It's like I don't want to watch that. It seems a bit scary. It's like that's good. That's good that you think that way. That shows you're thinking. But I'm dying to show him the first Exorcist movie. I'm dying to let him see that. But I don't think I'd take too much with him. Yeah. It's like I love. It's my favorite film, not called Ghostbusters. Still, like 1973, and it still gives me the fear. It still gives me.
I've got to say, I'm not a massive horror film fan. Like I didn't watch a whole lot of it, but The Exorcist I've seen now. The Exorcist, one of the few. Like zombie films, I'm all over. All that fucking Dawn of the Dead. I'm all over that. And
I watched it again last week. It's still great.
I love Dawn of the Dead.
Day of the Dead is the masterpiece, though. That's it will never get better than Day of the Dead.
It's great, but the thing about Dawn of the Dead is the music in it. Like that little happy tune when they're running through the mall and it gets me every. I'm like, yes, I'm all about that.
No, like Xavier doing like a special edition with 4 versions of it, with a soundtrack and a book, but it's like 70 notes, and I'm going. If it was Day of the Dead, I'd have bought it by now. But Dawn, I love Dawn, but Dawn's just a shade below it. But it's like 70 quid for one film is silly. But I'm like, it's half a nice, but I won't.
So kids will get a lot of me buying a lot of stupid shit. Like this shit I've been into just now is
your Motorhead stuff is like some of the stuff that you've got is cool as fuck though. I mean, the shit I've got behind me. I mean, it's silly how much.
I mean, we spoke about this before. Like I've got a very small. Well, I wouldn't say very small, but it's a small Ghostbusters collection compared to what you've got. Like a lot of the toys I had when I was a kid, and I've replaced the ones that have been missing. Yeah, and like I say, that's I'm happy with that. I can do with that. And our stuff comes out, I look at it and think, I'd love that, but I've got kids. Just haven't got the money.
I'm lucky.
That Lewis getting chased by the terror dog, I would have loved that. I was like, I've got kids, I can't afford that.
It was boxed until a few days ago, but no, then I took it out. Don't know if you can even see it. Here. Just that far. I'll take a picture of it.
Haha, tremendous.
So I've got 2 pterodons now, and Gozer's in between them both because reasons. Yeah. So, what's been happening?
But yeah, I mean, like I said, it's the collecting is they had to be knocked on the head since the kids came along. Like recently, I've been getting into like a lot of the Motorhead alcohol. Like I've got the beers, and the missus got us this for Christmas. It's a bottle of rum, Motorhead rum. I bought 2 bottles of the whiskey, one to drink and one to keep.
Good.
So
that's the rules. One to drink, one to keep.
But the rum, I'll need to get another bottle because apparently it's an award winner, so I'll need to try it, and then another bottle to keep in the cupboard, and then I was like,
I'm going to ask you a question to get back on topic to some degree. What's your favourite match you've had so far?
Favourite match?
I know this is your podcast, but I'm asking you a question. I know, like I say podcast, but it's just 2 pals in a fucking drink now.
Aye, that's it. Well, since we're in a lobby, I pulled this out rum. I'm on the hard stuff now.
Oh, cheers. A wee rum chaser for your beer.
Yep.
Fine.
Right. Best match. Favourite match.
Or even like favourite match, or I mean, again, like people say best match. I mean,
yeah,
what I mean? Like, it could be reasons for your favourite match.
My favourite matches aren't necessarily my best matches. Like it's like I've said, like Billy asked us this on his podcast, and SWN podcast. It was like, "What's your favourite match?" Whatever. And it's like anything where I get to get a bit wild. So like me and Archer, we've had a lot of like no DQ matches. We've been in the Halloween brawl, we've been in the Christmas brawl. Like anything where we get to use someone that's out with the usual parameters of a standard match.
Yeah.
The triple threat tag match we had at Anarchy 2 years ago.
Yeah, 2019. Yeah.
19 or 8? No. Aye, 19.
It was you guys, the Foundation, the Future, and
Outfit. Yeah. That was.
No, that was a really good one.
I enjoyed that one. That was even though like there's 6 guys in the match, and you're only getting obviously in a singles match you've got 50% of the match. 100% essentially. Like 6 guys in the match, you're only getting certain portions. But I think the shit we did in that match, it was a well put together match for the amount of guys was in it, and I think we were the first match on. I want to say.
After the pre-show, yeah, I think so. We
were either first or second. I can we were on early.
It was one of those kind of opening show with it's going to be action. It's going to keep moving. It's going to be bang 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 to get the crowd in.
But yeah, that was I enjoyed that because a lot of that match was a lot of the stuff that I put into it.
Yeah.
And I got the moonsault in, so that's always special.
I remember the moonsault. It's almost like Mania. The Taker's Mania dive. You always remember when Vago moonsault. You know the only issue with that match is I wish it was at the ballroom.
Yeah, I said this to Billy. I said that
it would have been great if it had been at the ballroom.
That was the only thing about that Anarchy was it at the Leisure Centre and in the ballroom. Because the ballroom, I said this on Billy's podcast, that I maintain that's one of the best venues for wrestling.
Oh, definitely.
It's a beautiful venue.
It's brilliant. It's just, I mean, the Leisure Centre was, again, speaking about the climate changing. I mean, obviously the climate is changed for us forever after last year and what we're going through just now.
I mean, I understand
WrestleZone in general, but even
WrestleZone has to be fits best for WrestleZone. I understand that, but it's
again, it's like you'd had the chance to work your ballroom. There's like Dino and Ted and again like Bradley had been in front of the crowd, but he was at ringside. You know, like certain guys hadn't had the chance.
I think they've done like a pre-show at the ballroom. They've done pre-shows. I think they hadn't been.
Yeah,
like, the full crowd in there.
Yeah, I mean, it's a great venue to play in front of 150 people, but it's even better when it's 1,000 plus.
Yeah,
I think I said to Billy about the one reason I want to go back to the ballroom. There's obvious reasons why you want to do the ballroom, but it's because it's for the guys who haven't had that yet.
Yeah.
Because it'd be a shame to not be able to do it. But I mean, when's that going to happen?
But I mean,
when's
like
the
you
show
said,
gonna
you've got guys like Valhalla, you've got guys like Young Connor that have never worked the ballroom. I think
that'd
that's
be amazing. It'd be great because I think everyone should get the chance to work.
yeah.
Because again, it's our WrestleMania, and again, there's every possibility that a lot of our guys will do more, and I want them to.
Yeah.
I mean, if their barometer was again, like some guys are happy to just to do their Monday to Friday.
I mean, some of them were set to do more last year, and then
definitely, yeah. Again, I mean, like Ryan had got the PPW show.
Yeah.
Again, put in a word for him, and I said, look, he's good and he's a great guy. So, thank you, please. And again, like trying to get. I tried to get Caleb, and again, it doesn't sound like I'm doing it for them. It's just again, like if someone can mention them, then the rest is up to them. They can then get themselves in. But I mean, like if I can help a little bit, then I will. I mean, I tried to get Caleb in for ICW, but Dallas played doing coke that night, so he kind of mind.
That's that bridge burned.
I'm just going back there. One, they don't fucking need me, and two, fuck them, and you can put that online.
And three, they're never gonna listen to this.
I know. That's the thing. It's like no. Mickey Vigo speaks to Scotty Swift. Oh, we'll get that on.
Yeah.
Fucking drunken mess. I mean it though. Fuck him. I mean, again, it goes back to.
I can't understand how they're managing to run shows. I can't understand it.
It'll be a loophole with being affiliated with WWE. I know. I know. Again, like the people that were doing contact training, we weren't meant to be.
Well, yeah.
Respect for wrestling, the fierce female, so that just fell out.
Aye.
And here's me like a fucking geek trying to go by the rules. I'm a fucking idiot. I'm having a fucking save message on my phone. So each week was keeping the guys moving and interested. It's like I'm a fucking idiot. And you can print that as well.
But like I've said, WrestleZone have always been a company, as far as I'm concerned, that have done things the right way. Like I just need because I work there. It's because it's just true.
Don't think it's hard to. I just don't think it's hard to do that. But again, I think. I mean, it's no one's business. But obviously, we've got a thread ongoing that we chat. Because again, like I said, I haven't seen you since March.
Yeah,
I've seen some of the boys through various things because I've had to keep in top of the ever-changing situation that we're in.
Aye.
But I've just seen Ryan or Dino or Ted or Caleb or Connor. I've just seen most of the guys in forever since March.
Yeah, like I said, we did the small training bubbles when we got back.
Yeah.
We had Thunder, Garrick, Valhalla, myself, and there's somebody else I'm forgetting. Mr. P.
Yeah.
I'm sure it was somebody else. And they're going to shoot me for this because I can't remember who else it was.
Oh, being Bradley with Bradley and me as well.
Bradley Evans, that was it.
Yeah, there you go. That's it.
He's going to get fucking daft.
You fucking remember me.
But yeah, that's pretty much the only guys I've spoken to since lockdown happened. Like we had something like this, same sort of thing. Like a few months into lockdown, I was a couple of the guys, Tucker and Thunder, and a couple of other guys were on it. But apart from that, I've not seen anyone for WrestleZone.
Yeah. I did have a point, but I can't remember it now.
Fuck
that. We told you it'd be a shit show. If anyone sees this, it's a fucking shit show. But
what the fuck are these two fucking amateurs doing? Yeah, that's part of the thing. It's the social side of it. Not even so much of wrestling, it's just the social side of seeing your pals in the thing.
Yeah.
That's a lot of it I'm missing.
Yeah, I kept saying during this whole thing that, again, like I would say, you're fortunate in terms of, I know obviously having a house full of people can be, but but you've got people with you. You know, you got
Yeah,
Louise.
aye.
You know, it's cool. Like some people were stuck in the house by
Aye.
themselves, and I'm lucky that no, I've got Charmaine, Adam, Nova, 2 cats. I'm fine. You know,
Now you've
but
lost
yeah, and I've got. I mean, again, like when things shut down, I had these cabinets waiting to go up, and it's like, when the shit's on now. I mean, I couldn't do it by myself because I'm a fucking disgrace. And I'd have had them all smashed by myself if Charmaine, because you know, the Charmaine's good with DIY, and I'm a fucking embarrassment. I'm just, and I get like because it was all glass. I was stressing. I was fucking sweating.
Oh,
I was sweating. It's like I'm a horrible excuse of a man, and I know I am. If it's fake fighting, I'm fine. Otherwise, I'm fucked. But we've got a lockdown, so fuck. So I mean, getting that done again, like you know yourself, it's like wrestling is a big part of my life, but it's not my life.
it's need to
It's
be on
less
end all.
so as I get older. And when all the shit kicked off last year, it meant, and again, I do love it. I've got shit on my wall there with like presents of people. I like William Sterling got me the old like Hasbro like you know the Hasbro figures, but no the carding.
Oh, the card, yeah. Right, okay.
Like one of me and one for the Gloob, which would be one as well. So
Nice.
I've got shit. I need to send you a picture of it. Like I've got shit. You know, it does mean a lot to me, but you know, it's also like all this palaver with lockdown. It's made me kind of not like prioritize, but it's made me realize, you know, maybe it isn't a. And then
Yeah.
when people are carrying on like arseholes with the, well, look at me, I'm a fucking wrestler, I can do what I want. It's like, get fucked. You know, it's made me like, I love it, but it's made me love it less.
Half the problem is, I think, is they keep bringing this saying back, wrestling's for everybody. Right? As a fan,
it's not.
As a fan, wrestling is for everyone. Everyone's accepted.
Of course it is.
To be in the wrestling actual business doing it for for a living, but you get what I mean.
Yeah, I get you. I actually involved.
Be involved in shows and such like that's not for everybody. Not everybody's got out, and they can crucify us for saying this because it's not the.
I don't care because
we're not towing the line, but at the end of the day, that's the case. It's not for everybody. Some people just aren't cut out for it.
Yeah, of course it is. I mean, like, and there's things that I mean. I've got stuff that I always wanted to be a wrestler, and to whatever. I mean, some people will think I'm shite, whatever. I don't care. I know. I mean, for our bubble, I'm over. People liked what I fucking did. I've done more than I ever thought I would do. I'm happy. I mean, if it was to end now, and it'd be shit, but I'd be okay with it. I would be okay with it because I've done some pretty cool stuff, and I'm very thankful that I have. I wanted to be in a band, which I was, but not really, and I was shite. So fuck. I wanted to be in a band where I was good. That'd have been nice. I wanted to be a rock star because of all this shit I'm in, you know, wrestling, Ghostbusters, music, it's very close, and you'll appreciate that. I know you feel the same way. And being in a movie, which almost happened, and it didn't, because we were meant to have like a wrestling horror themed movie was going to happen in 2012-13. There's a guy that I knew who's friends with a guy who started making movies, and he wanted to do a wrestling vampire horror movie. And obviously, and because he knew me through the person that we were mutual friends with, he wanted me and the guys to be in it.
What was his name?
David Ryan Keith.
Nah, the same guy then.
Yeah.
I've got a pal who, and it sounds absurd, but he was into judo when he was a kid, and then we went to school together. We were great pals, whatever. And he went to, I wouldn't say Tibet or China or something, to train with the Shaolin monks.
Wow, okay.
And then he went from there to America to train to be a stuntman, and he was a stuntman for years. Like he did all this stunt training, and he learned a trade as a joiner so he could do set building and whatever. And he was in a few films with a guy. I don't know if he's based in Aberdeen or he's certainly based in Scotland. He made a few films and like my pal, Stuntman. But it's not the same name. I can't mind the guy's name, but it wasn't that.
There's another guy called Scott Ironside.
Nah, that wasn't either.
He was in One Day Removals.
Right. Okay. I can't remember that. Yeah.
Like he was writing a movie, a film, and he had a script, and he used to work as a bouncer in a nightclub. So they wanted to make a movie about the life of being a bouncer, and he had a role for me in it, and he sent me the script, and it never came to anything. So that's twice. Fucker. Because that was the point where I was like probably like I've never been big, but no, like when I looked like look at me. He had someone in mind. I could do this. I've got this bouncer thing. I want you to be in it because he used to come to shows and stuff. And like, he was the kind of guy that I would only ever see when I was out pissed. And he'd be one of them. He's a brilliant guy. He's moved. He's like a park ranger now in the middle of nowhere. He just does everything. He does that. He's doing martial. And like now he's a park ranger. Of course, he's a park ranger. Why would he not be in the middle of nowhere? Of course he is. But but he sent me a script and it never came to anything. And it's like that's so. Out of my 3, I've done 1. It's like fucker. Well, technically 1.5 because I was volunteered to be in a band when I was seeing someone, and it was her pal, who she eventually ended up going out with. So I turned her lesbian, so that's good.
Right. So look, these are the notes I had before we started the show.
so wrestling, please, Ghostbusters, heavy metal.
Right. So I think we've been going for an hour and a half, maybe even more. I don't know.
Yeah.
So let's cut this off here, and then we'll come back for part 2, and we'll get into the heavy metal properly because this is my area expertise.
Heavy metal / punk rock / death metal
/ black metal,
rock and roll / grindcore / speed metal / thrash, whatever the fuck it ends up being.
We'll get back into that. So part 2 will, if this ever airs, there will be a part 2 at some point.
Apart from the boys and us to look back and say, what the fuck were we doing there? Who's going to look at it?
Yeah.
Someone will.
It's what it is.
Like if you start tagging the boys in Motorhead with the post, they may look at it. I think they can share it. What's the guy, what's the drummer called again?
Mickey D isn't the one for sharing things, but Phil Campbell, he's all over it. Like I've had likes and shares of him.
Tag Phil Campbell in it.
Yep.
I'll tag Dan Aykroyd in it. we'll get him to share it. Who else can we tag? Who else can we mention? Rikishi and Hurricane.
Rikishi and Hurricane, yeah.
Sorry, no, get some traction off of that.
And Chris Archer.
To Archer, who's never on social media ever.
He only comes on when he's completely fucking hammered and just sends gifts to you. That's
New Year. I knew he was half cut because he started actually communicating with us.
We've got a side group with just me, him, and Garrick, and it's the same thing. He just gets pushed, and it's just gifts. That's all you get. Archer's on it. Oh well.
He's got no batter at all.
I love Archer a bit,
but it's fine because it's him.
Yeah.
It's fine because it's him. Is that us done?
So when we come back for part 2, we'll discuss heavy metal and Chris Archer.
Well, how do we end this? Like professionally. Have we got like a sign off?
I've got
a sign off.
You've seen the sign on this. This has been the complete shit show.
This is Mickey Vago and keep on banging that head. And that's how you end it.
Something like that. Listen for part 2 of Mickey's Mosh Pit. Is that what I was calling it? That was a fucking working title. That'll do.
You didn't even know what your podcast is called.
It might change that. It was going to be the Mosh Pit, but then I looked down at it as like the Mosh Pit's like a million other podcasts. So I was like, oh, fuck.
Yeah.
That's what I made for months, and I didn't think to check it until like a week before we did this. I was like,
any variation of that, or the headbanger's probably going to be like taken already, or.
So the working title is Mickey's Mosh Pit just now, but we'll think of something better.
Should have called it the power chord.
I would have called it the Orgasmatron, but I didn't even look to see what was in there.
Oh, very good. No, like Killed by Death.
But yeah, so part two.
My extensive Motorhead knowledge has been it's stone dead forever.
Anyway, join us for part two when you get me off drinking and getting pissed and being a complete shit show.
Happy New Year, everyone. It's still water.